Well, hello YouTube. Welcome back to the Bison Workshop. I'm Bob, and thought I'd show you all my fish. Fish in the barrel, rain barrel, and I feed them like once every 3 or 4 days. And the reason I have them in the barrel is to get rid of all the mosquitoes that are in the barrel. I like having the rain barrel because if I want to wash something like my tractor or something like that, or need to clean something up, I've got rain water. I don't have to run the water in the house, and I even give my dog the water outside. So but anyway, welcome back, and I'm still alive. We're waiting on paint for the tractor, and I got the spray on truck bed liner for underneath the fender well of the tractor, and I really don't want to get started on it until I get all the paint so that I can finish it and be done with it. But I thought I'd go ahead and start back on this trailer that I'm building, and we're going to go ahead and put the hangers on it, the spring hangers that I made. And I had a lot of flack over them spring hangers, and to be quite honest with you, I really don't care what the guy had to say about it. I'm using the tie down that they use to anchor mobile homes down to the ground for tornadoes. Well, I believe if it's strong enough for a trailer, a mobile home, to hold it down to the ground in a tornado, I'm pretty certain it's going to be strong enough to use for hangers on a little 8-foot trailer that ain't going to be used very much. So all you haters in the house, go somewhere else. I ain't got time for it. A little about me before I get started on this. I've been fighting depression, and yesterday I started talking to my cousin's wife, and she'd been depressed, and so I decided that I was going to try to talk her out of a depression, and in hopes that it would bring me out of depression because I'm doing something nice. So I decided to get out here and do something today. For the last 3 or 4 days I've been in bed feeling like crap, and today I said no more. I shaved, got myself all cleaned up, and said I'm going to go out here and feel good today. So that's what I'm going to do. But as everybody remembers, I don't know what number I'm on the trailer build, but I'm sure I'll know by the time I get done editing this, and you guys will know. We're going to go ahead and put the tongue on it and the spring hangers. So right now I'm down to the point where, let me see if I can find you a good location here. Let's see, make sure we got all of it in here. Now, as you can see, this is the hanger that we have, and it's not nowhere near as strong as the hanger I made. Now my hanger is going to bolt on, and I think that'll work just fine. It's got 2 different locations where I can mount it, but I'm only going to use one. So what we're going to do now to start with is we're going to get the distance between here and there to the front of this. So we'll measure from the front of this to the center of this hole. So I'll get you set up here, and we'll get started on measuring this. So basically I'm just going to measure from the front of that to the center of this hole, which lands at 26 and 5/8. So we're going to do 26 and 5/8 from here to the first hole in this, and then we're going to drill wherever they fall into the frame of this, and then we're just going to bolt them up there with these. So I'll get started. Let's see, what did I say, 26 and 5/8? Yeah, 26 and 5/8. So I'm going to write that down on this board up here. Alright, so now we've got our mark, and we're just going to use this DeWalt high performance grinding disc on my DeWalt grinder. Now when you use these big old grinding wheels, you want to make sure that you keep your finger away from this part right here, and sometimes it will hit you. Now don't take this from me, you guys don't do this at home. I'm mindful of it, so I know not to do that, and even if it does, I've actually had it hit my finger and it never skinned me or nothing. It just alerted me, and I quit doing it. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get plugged up here and get started. Make sure you have safety glasses on and start grinding. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and cut the other side off and have it ready, and this is exactly what I'm going to do over there, and I'm going to get it down to where it's smooth, and then we'll make our marks where we want this to be. And not sure which way I want to do it yet. Doesn't really matter, I guess, but we'll do the other side and we'll be right back. Alright, so now what we're going to do, I've got them cleaned up. We're going to try to raise this up and get it under a jack. So I'll get it up there where it's around about the height I want it, so we can kind of even this out, because the distance between that hanger on the right hand side or left hand side was 3/8 of an inch. So apparently somebody's already done some work in here and they didn't get it even. We don't want our trailer going sideways down the road. That's hard on tires, and we don't want to wear out our tires since they are brand new. So we're going to start by raising this up, and we're going to measure from the end of the trailer to a certain point on the axle to make sure we have it exactly straight. So I measured over here on the left hand side at 26 and 5/8. When I got to the right hand side, it was 27, so it's a difference of 3/8 of an inch. So apparently this trailer was going down the road sideways. Well, when you're pulling a trailer sideways and riding sideways, you're going to wear your tires, because then it's going against the asphalt. So we're going to try to make this as straight as possible so that when we go down the road, we're not tearing up tires. So let's see if I can get this up without hurting myself. I shouldn't be doing this, but you know, I ain't got nobody else to do it for me, so I pretty much got to do things myself. Alright, so we're going to raise this up. What I want to do is I want to kind of split the difference here. You got this much over here and you got this much over here. We want to try to keep that in the center like that, so that it has equal amount of travel when it's springing. So when you have a load on it, this is going to get closer to here. So for the most part, it's okay to have less on this side than it is on this side. So when you got a load on it, it has plenty of travel going this way before it hits this bottom spring. So I'm going to shoot for right about there, and then we're going to measure and see where we are from the end of the trailer to our center point for our bow hole. So that's 51 inches. And then I'm going to go do the same thing to the other side. Alright, so we're going to shoot for 51 inches from the very back side of the trailer to the center point of your spring. So because I don't think these here are correct, because I measured from here to the center of the hanger that was on it before, and it was measuring 27 inches on this side and 26 and 5/8 on the other side, so it's like 3/8 difference. So we're going to measure from the end of the trailer and do 51 inches. And I've had a frog in my throat ever since I got up this morning, well, this afternoon. So I'm going to figure out where my location is, and then we'll get started drilling our holes and putting our bolts in it. Well guys, we have a slight change of plans here. We're going to bolt them in, but this is quite possibly the crookedest trailer I've ever seen in my life. There isn't a straight place on it or a square place on it. So that explains why there was a big difference between, 3/8 difference in the spring hanger. So I'm going to have to just square the axle with the trailer and just weld them in where it sits. So basically what I'm going to do is just weld them in place, spot weld them, and then take them down and then weld them solid with the stick welder. I didn't want to go that route, but it looks like I'm going to have to. So I've made my mark at 51 inches right here, and I did the same thing on the other side, and I've lined this bolt up to where it lines up with this mark. This was the one I had on it because I was going to do the original holes, but I didn't know there was a difference, a 3/8 difference at the time I did it, so I just marked that one out and made a new one at 51 inches. So I'm lining everything up here at 51 inches, and I'm going to go over and do the same thing on the other side. Now I'm putting pressure with the jack on this to put pressure up against it to hold it in place. So right now we've got this line, or the axle, squared to the trailer. You know, the long beams that's going up the side. Can't go by the center beams because they're not welded in straight. So we'll get the welder and we'll get started on this. I have to move this carpet and get my metal, the thing I use to lay down on it's metal, so when I am welding I don't burn my carpet up. Granted, this is a little more comfortable, but I don't want to burn my comfort up. And that saves me some bolts. Alright guys, we've got set up here to weld this, and I've got my welder hooked up, and we've decided on using the 6011 rod for deeper penetration. Ideal one would be 6011, so I'm reading. I'm not a professional welder by any means, and I don't want you guys to think I am, because I'm not. But I've chosen the, I only got a 6011, and we're going to use that for hopefully a deep penetration. So we'll get started on that, and I'm going to back you guys up a little bit because I don't want no sparks hitting my camera. So I really shouldn't be using my camera out here, but I'm going to. Wish me luck. Sorry about that, guys. I got a phone call from my aunt, and I haven't talked to her in like 15-20 years. Made my day. So today's a really good day for me, and I've got a new breath of life breathed into me. And if she's watching this, thank you very much, Margie, for calling me. I love you, and hope I get to talk to you again soon. Anyway, right before I got the phone call, I had to turn the phone or the camera off, and I went to try to re-record, and the battery must have been dead in it, so I had to change. I'm on my red SJ4 or SJ-M20 camera, and I'm getting ready to take the springs down. I've already got everything spot welded where I want it, and we're going to go ahead and take the springs down and weld these hangers up, let them cool down while we're putting the ball hitch on the front. So enjoy the music.
believe that does it. It's welded on. Now we will let that cool down while we're working on the tongue. So we'll get started on that tongue, and we'll be right back when I'm ready to start drilling. Alright guys, now we've got this positioned where we want it, and we're going to go ahead and drill these 2 holes on this side, and then we'll drill the holes on the other side. Man, all my bits are dull. And there we have it. So now we've got our tongue on, 2-inch ball, and I think we're going to eliminate this toolbox. It's too big. I don't know yet. It needs a bottom in it, and I'm thinking I can use the metal for something else, so I might just take the thing apart. I don't know. Then again, I could put a bottom in it, a wooden bottom, and sell it to somebody and maybe finance some other stuff. But these here are going to have to come off. Every time I walk around this thing, I hit my shoulder. I hit it a while ago, and I said, that's it, they're coming off. So we're going to cut this down. I'm going to cut this off, and well, cut that down to there, and basically leave it like that so that I can put a stud right here and a clamp to clamp these on there. That way they'll ride right there just like that on both sides, and I think that'll look pretty decent going down the road. So the next thing I need to do is just cut these off right here. I'll probably cut it off about 1 inch above that and make it so I can make a latch that goes down on it, and then with a thumb screw so that this will be held down tight. We'll see. So I need to put an L right here for a cradle, and then put an L here that goes on with a wing nut, and that'll hold my ramps on. So I'm going to put the axle up in there, and I'm burning up, man, sweating like a pig. My glasses are so wet I can't hardly see through them. So that'll end this part of the trailer build, and before I leave though, I'll go ahead and put the axles up in there and put the wheels on it, get it on the ground, and show you once we got it done. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Alright guys, we have got it standing on its own tires and wheels. Got the axle underneath of it. And if I want to hook to it, I can hook to it now. All this time I've been working on this thing, I hadn't got to it for a while. And there she is, sitting on her own and can be hooked to it at any given time. I can move it if I want to. Got the tongue on it. And I'm really thinking about getting a smaller box to put on this thing. I'd rather have a tread aluminum box to put on it. And like I said in the last section there, I got to redo these. And that's going to be it on the next part. That ain't going to be on this part. So let me bring you over here so I ain't making you all dizzy. Sit down and take a breather for a minute and we'll chat a little bit. So anyway, almost to the point where I can go ahead and them fire ants. I'm almost to the point where I can go ahead and get some or get the tag or title for it. Gotta go to DMV and get a VIN number for it and get me a tag for it, and then once I get the tag, it's pretty much done. But like I said, that big old box, I don't like that big box. It's just too damn big, and I'm almost tempted to take that box off and continue the boards up to where the frame goes in like an A, and just do it the whole way up, and just mount some small boxes on the step or something like that on the side here, and do it that way. I just don't like that big old box on there, and I really don't have no use for it. So that's probably what we'll end up doing, is cutting that box up and using it. I thought about using that metal to build me a pull behind mower deck, and that would work, but I need 3 matching spindles, and I only got 2 matching on one deck and 2 matching ones on the other deck, and neither one of those match. So unless I just go get a kit, I think you can get the three spindle blade mounts in a kit for like, I think they're like $69, anywhere from $69 to $95, and that's for a kit with all 3 of them. So I may even go that route and build a deck out of that toolbox. So we'll see. Just depends on how I feel when I get to that point. I just can't see using or making a deck that's as small as that one that's good, because it's a pretty small deck. I think it's like a 38 inch. That's pretty small. So I'd rather go with a 42 or bigger. I like to have a 60 inch. That'd be cool as shit. And that would make me a 60 inch deck. Anyway, yeah, I'm back to smoking. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this and get cleaned up, get all this sweat off of me because I'm burning up, and get this uploaded for you guys, and so y'all don't think I'm dead. Anyway, having a good day, and I hope you guys are too. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment, and don't forget to support your local Bison workshop, which I only got one. Anyway, you guys have a good one. Later.